Hello and welcome to another episode of the Visual VC. Today, I'm hosting a very talented individual, Theron La Fontaine. Hello, Theron. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Brilliant. It's such a pleasure to host you here today. Theron is an accomplished actor and voiceover artist for over 15 years of experience in film, television, theater, and commercials. He's also an experienced coach for sales role playing, investor pitches, and accent reduction. Theron will generously share his valuable expertise and insights on how to effectively pitch your startup or venture to investors in order to capture their interest and support. So, Theron, say a few words about yourself and what you do.
As you said, I'm an actor, and but I started out in the business world. So I went and got my undergraduate in business, a master's degree in business, and did theater all along the way, and then kind of transitioned between the two and morphed. And one of the things that I really found along the way is that there's so many people that are studying business, getting an MBA. But have no idea how to present themselves. And that's one thing that you learn as an actor, how to present yourself and present an idea, but you don't learn anything about business. And business people learn everything about business, but they don't learn how to present themselves. And so I think it's one thing really lacking is this marriage that happens between the two, especially as you begin to market yourself, market an idea, and sell that idea to somebody and get them to buy what you are selling, which is essentially when you're looking for venture capital, you're really selling yourself and the idea that you have. Hopefully you have proven some proven facts behind you and you're moving forward with those. But really, a lot of times people are investing in you and the vision that you're able to articulate to them. And so because they want to buy the next big thing, the next Facebook, the next whatever. And so they've got to trust you and believe in your vision. And so you're packaging that vision more than anything.
Amazing. I so can relate to what you're saying because maybe you have the knowledge and expertise, but if you can't present in the right way, it doesn't go through. So how do you do that? Let's focus on our audience, which are entrepreneurs, investors, anybody like that. How you can help them? What advice would you give?
There are a couple things that I think are critical. I would highly recommend reading Stories That Stick by Kendra Hall. It's amazing. It talks about crafting the story for your business and a story that not only you can equip yourself with to sell your business, but you can equip your entire sales staff with, which I think are really important as you move forward, is creating a story. 1 million people have a great idea. And the difference between those great ideas and ideas that we want to buy are the stories that are told behind them. People want to buy a story more than anything. And so you need to learn to craft your story and to make it articulate. And you, before you even get in front of any VC investors, you really, really should be telling this story anywhere and everywhere you can. I don't care if it's for a small luncheon of 10 people, you should continue to tell this story so you can craft it and mold it and make it something that people want to listen to and captures us. If we look at, for instance, Steve Jobs, when he did the iLaunch, it's very specific. He told us about a world that happens what happened when we met the product, and then what's a beautiful world that will come after. And every story has this exact same arc. So you want to tell us, and you as a CEO, founder, creative officer, whoever is pitching this, you have your own story, and it should have the same arc too. And so we want to know, what is the troubles that are happening in the world? How is that solved by your product or by you or the troubles you encountered? If it's even your story, you probably had 10 fails before you had this success. And so talk to us a little bit about that fail. Don't linger there. Then talk to us about the amazing thing that's happening and this beautiful future that we see ahead of us because of you, because of this product. And your great pitch should probably include both your story and the product story, because not only remember, we're not just investing in this product, we're highly investing in you and your ability to execute this idea, almost equally, if not more important.
Amazing. So what you're saying, storytelling is a key uh, to get to anybody, because story is really engaging. And from my experience at Powtoon, I really when you make an explainer video, the story that you tell is first of all you're saying like, listen, you have got a problem, and then you tell about the problem you've got. You make the problem even bigger, and then once the person say to himself, wow, what's the problem, how can I solve it, and then you come up with your idea. I say, listen, that's the problem you can solve with my product, and here we go. And then obviously you need to induce it with some within your story. So that's really interesting. So remind me the book you said you
It's
read
called
a book,
Stories That Stick.
Stories That Stick. Amazing. That's an
And
amazing.
Kendra is an amazing speaker that will even go into organizations. You can hire her as a consultant if you need to craft your story to help you. A lot of times it's really hard for us as entrepreneurs or as individuals to tell our own story. It's really easy to tell someone else's story, but it's
Yep.
super hard to tell our own story. And so the first thing is to craft that story. And maybe you need to hire a specialist in this area that will help you just listen to what you have to say and then create a beautiful story for you. And then you have to get used to telling your story. And I know it feels like you're tooting your own horn or being kind of a little bit too overzealous, but really we have to hear this story in order to buy what we're going to buy from you, which in the end may be your idea, and we're going to invest a bunch, which is the same thing as still buying the product, right? We're still putting our money into you.
Correct. So once you craft the story, what are the next steps?
The next steps are, like I said, so you're going to craft your story. Then you need to practice it a bunch. You should have practice sessions within your company. You should have practice sessions giving this to friends. Before you ever get to the big game, you better have rehearsed dozens of times, even if it's just in your room talking to a wall. You need to rehearse this and refine it and make it better. Videotape yourself saying this story. You should probably create some sort of a nice video about your product, right? And maybe even hire a voiceover artist that's really good at storytelling to tell the story of your product through this product video that you're going to create, that you're going to present inside your VC presentation that you're going to make. For instance, I was actually hired to do the voiceover for Mobi, which is a product right there in Israel, right where you are. They hired me to do the 3-minute pitch that they used for cities where they were launching this product and trying to get cities to buy their product. So they had me read the thing. And it basically, it was a beautiful story where we told about a universe before and a universe after, with connectivity and what they will do and the future that comes and the gridlock that happened before, right? And so hire an artist to help tell that story. If it is not in your wheelhouse, you can tell part of your story and then hire an artist. Also, keep it simple. The simpler, the better. Get to the point. We don't want to listen to 10 minutes of you in the weeds of how your product is going to work. If you've interested us, we're going to ask for all that information afterwards. We're going to say, hey, can you send over this? We're going to do our diligence now. We're going to look through some product stuff. I want to see some of your financials, some of this sort of stuff. we'll move on to the next phase because you've already hooked us, right? But if
Right.
you, a lot of times, I think that's the biggest thing where pitches go wrong is that they get too in the weeds, into the day-to-day mundane details that no one wants to hear and doesn't excite anyone but you. The other part of it is getting too into the details of why am I the best inventor of this product. People who are really good at what they do don't have to spend 10 minutes convincing me they're good at it. I already know, and I probably did my diligence before this meeting and already looked into their background. So I know a little bit. So using experience is very helpful, but it should not, I shouldn't have to show you with a big, huge neon sign, look at me, I'm really good. I should just be able to say, when I created this product and we went through this launch, what I learned was that we needed to reposition a little bit or whatever. And that's something I've really brought to me in this product that we're doing, that I'm launching now, and is one of the things that has made it the most successful. That's a very easy story for me to listen to. I believe everything you just said, because it isn't full of you trying to sell me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you want your stories to sound natural. If it sounds like a sales pitch, more than likely I'm going to be turned off.
Mm.
Pretty simple, right? We're humans. In the first 9 seconds, we decide if we like you or don't. That's just in our biology. It was built from when we were cavemen, and we decided if I'm going to kill you or be able to live around you. And that's still innate inside of us.
Wow. So if I say first thing, practice, 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 keep it simple, make yourself interesting and give people really the real story behind it. This is you talking about creating a video, right? I mean, you create a video, maybe you hire a voiceover artist. But when you have face to face, like a video conferencing, like a Zoom call with your investor, what would you need to, because it's live, it's not you don't record yourself. What would you recommend to founders before they go to the call? What exactly on what to practice, and what you think, what is the key thing to be prepared for?
I think you should really, first of all, you should have all your data just ready, available to you, because they'll ask what they need to ask. So, you're going to typically you're going to begin by just telling a little tiny snippet about you, and then you're going to delve into the product and what's going on. And you're going to tell that narrative, that story. And you can absolutely, in this part of the process, even if it's a screen share that video or share that piece. Remember, our world is changing every day, and our attention spans are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So the more multifaceted you can make this presentation, the better off you will be, because you don't want me to be bored sitting there. And so spice it up a little bit. And then end your presentation. I would not last this presentation. Try to make it not overly lengthy or long, right? You should be able to get to the meat of this and get me hooked within that first 10 minutes of our conversation. I should already be hooked and ready to really begin the next phase of this process. I don't need an hour-long presentation. I'm over it by that point, right?
So be very close to your data. Be prepared to be asked on any part of your company. Anything that you need is from either financials or the operations or your market. So there are lots of questions. Be prepared for that, and obviously learn about his story, how to tell it.
And
Yeah.
then be prepared to answer questions. In every question, you should have already prepared a story for that question. Period. This is like a job interview. You should have stories created, prepared, practiced that sound like you just invented it right then in that moment, but yet it's a very articulate, crafted story to their answer.
Theron, from your experience, what are the common mistakes founders make when they tell a story or they are involved in a pitch?
I think some of the pitches that I've watched that I've really hated were pitches that have gone on about the credentials of the executive team and spent very little time on the actual product. That is a huge pitfall, I think, because people want a lot of times people that are doing this have a lot of experience. So there's a little ego also involved in this. And so they really delve into their experience and why they're the most brilliant person in the room, when I want to hear more about why your product solves a problem and why it's the coolest thing that I've ever seen since sliced bread, rather than why you are the coolest person I have ever met. That often comes across very arrogant, and you've wasted a lot of time that you could have been convincing me or talking to me about your product, the thing that you need my money for. And that's what I want to invest in, right? And the team is a portion of that, yes, but it's not the largest portion. And then I would think too much technical jargon is also a huge problem, that people get into technical jargon or get into the inner day-to-day workings of the creation of something. I don't really need all that. I don't want to know all that. I want to know just this level right here. And that's important to me. Obviously, you need to present me with your proof of concept and how you believe that this is actually going to be sellable. But after that, I'm really looking. And don't forget, if I'm giving you money, I'm going to be working with you for 3 to 5 years, more than likely, is the usual horizon that I'm going to be working with you. If I can't stand you, you're not getting my money no matter what. If I really like you, there's a really good chance that I'm going to want to work with you.
That's so true. So be humble. Don't go into too much details, and make sure to make a rapport, like build a relationship with the person, because it's a like 5 to 10 years journey, and you want somebody you can relate to and be a friend with over that period of time. So this is amazing. Theron, another, because we are now kind of getting into the kind of the end of the episode, uh, I would love to ask you for give me a fun fact about yourself.
Fun facts?
Yeah, fun fact.
Well, I live slopeside, so about a couple of years ago I started to make a huge change, and within the last year now I literally get to live in the middle of the mountains on a slope, pretty much because of COVID giving us the opportunity to work from anywhere. And so I really have started valuing quality of life over anything else, and I think everyone does. And so I think that's something that's a little different about me than most people, that I live on a ski resort in the middle of nowhere,
Wow.
essentially, and have to travel to the city a lot. But that's probably a fun fact. And yeah, I mean, and I think another fun fact is I started out, as a 15-year-old waiting tables. I think, hard work is just part of everyone's life. And especially if you're an entrepreneur, you really know hard work, and it's probably been ingrained in you since you were a kid.
Hmm. And can you recommend us any book or podcast that you really like?
I am really into the motivational stuff. So I love the stuff by Mel Robbins, by Jack Canfield. Eddie Pinero has a great motivational thing that I listen to. I literally listen to his YouTube every morning when I get up, to get me pumped and remind me why I'm doing it. I have my own motivational vision board video that I look at every day of my life, when I wake up and before I go to bed. And I think you need to start putting those pieces into your life so you can really see this stuff happening.
Yes, I mean, can so relate to that, and I really believe in the building the blue sky vision, where you can actually imagine and you see yourself into the future. So this is actually, that is a session on its own, and definitely gonna record one on that. And so
And another
let
thing I would definitely say to you, a no is not necessarily a no. It could be a maybe later. Remember, your business may not be ready for this VC firm at that moment. They might be looking for something that's just a little different. So build that relationship and maintain that relationship, because they might be your next funding mechanism. Well, and if you build a good relationship, they will tell you these things. They'll say like, "Hey, I think that I love what you're doing. I think we're 2 years away from where we really need to be, and this is what I think is the next step." A lot of entrepreneurs make a huge mistake here. They meet with an amazing VC, and then that they give them this feedback, and instead of taking that feedback, they go just try to find another VC, and eventually you'll find one. But probably they were right, and especially if they were honest with you, then you need to find a different funding mechanism in the midterm while you're getting ready for that right next step. And because what will happen inevitably is you might find a VC and then you really weren't ready for it, and that becomes a disastrous situation.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. I mean, building a relationship is the key, and I can say from my life. I mean, I built my partner. I met him over 20 years ago, and just only after 10 years of friendship, we built a Powtoon together. So keep keep your friendship and keep your relationship and build it up, because you never know what's gonna happen in the future.
Yeah.
So, Theron, what last thing? If the audience would like to connect to you, how are they gonna find you?
You can reach me at theronlafountain.com, or obviously I'm on the socials, so you can always reach out to
So,
me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm on all of those things.
actually, and I'm gonna add your details in the podcast itself, so everybody can be able to get you. And it's amazing. So thank you so much, Theron. It was so amazing, so valuable information. I learned a lot from that, and I really believe that the audience will learn new things. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.